Hello everyone, welcome back to Awareness Advocate. I'm excited to share some more information with you. We're finally getting to some nitty-gritty stuff that I'm really excited to just connect you with. Some opportunities for you to really be inspired for advocacy in your area, to engage civically and to be involved. The first website, we're back to some websites that I wanted to connect you with. In my effort to keep videos a little bit around 15 minutes in length, I can't always get everything out there. There might be a few more. This may be a few more that might kind of relate to what we're talking about today, but I think it's really cool, some of the resources we have available to us that we just don't know about, and so I'm excited to share. The first one is continuing with that blue campaign. One of the other resources that we have available through the blue campaign is the Identify a Victim site. So there is a link you can click to recognize the signs of human trafficking. Go ahead and click that and see where it takes us here. So this, I think, is significant. Before we completely stick on this site, though, let's go back to that other one. Something that I want out here so you can pause the video if you want to write numbers down are the number you can call to report suspicious criminal activity in the U.S. to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I think this is if you suspect that someone is a trafficker, you would call that number. There's a number for outside the United States, so it's a tip line. The one that I think is the most important, though, is the National Human Trafficking Hotline. 1-888-373-7888, or you can text help or info to be free, 233-733. That is awesome. If you're out in the world and you see something that's suspicious, you can just text help or info to 233-733 and connect with someone who can help you. The NHTH can help connect victims with service providers in the area and provides training, technical assistance, and other resources. So maybe what you want to do is set up some training for where you work. You watched that other video, you recognized that you are in a situation where you might not have any plans in place where you work or the business that you own, and you want to get some specific training to the position you're working in. That is one of the keys I've learned in looking at this, is if you're going to get training, you want to make sure that training is targeted to your specific job. You don't want to get too general, especially if you're doing a group training. So texting this 233-733, then they can help you and fill you in on what kind of training is available for if you're a healthcare worker, you want to have that training target your demographic. You don't want to be connected with irrelevant information. So I just thought I would point that out to you. I think it's really awesome. You can explore this and look at this, but we're going to go to that other website, Indicators of Human Trafficking. Once again, it's the Department of Homeland Security. I don't know what you're going to find. No, really, there's more to this website than I've even shown you. So Indicators of Human Trafficking. Taking a look at that, there's an indicator card that you can print out and keep in your wallet, or you can hang up in the break room if you have a break room where you work. You can hang it up in cubicles. If you're working in that type of a situation, you can have it on the dashboard. If you're an Uber driver, you can put it at the front desk and in the on the hospitality carts for if you're working in a hotel, so that information is available to your employees. So I think that's really awesome. Does the person appear disconnected? Or you can, I'm not going to read through these. I want you to. So I'm just gonna there's some few things that you can look at. And one of the things as we're talking about this, I just want to point out, as they said on the Department of Homeland Security website, just because someone has some of these signs does not mean that they are absolutely being trafficked. And just because they don't have all of these signs doesn't mean that they are not being trafficked. The key here is, they say that's at the bottom of the list. Not all indicators listed above are present in every human trafficking situation, and the presence or absence of any of the indicators is not necessarily proof of human trafficking. So keeping that in mind, and it isn't an opportunity to harass your neighbor. I think it's an opportunity to really use discernment and have, I'm not trying to create paranoia, and I'm not trying to create complacency. I think it's like some balance is awesome. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't want to be misconstrued as someone trying to incite fear and create hundreds of people that are just calling this site all the time because they see something weird. Yes, we don't always recognize what's going on, but the more we familiarize ourselves with this, hopefully the more we can discern those tricky situations and, provide help for someone. So once again, more numbers to report human trafficking to federal law enforcement, to get help from the National Human Trafficking Hotline. You can give that a call. There's the text number again. And then there's also, that also covers Spanish. So considering that immigrants and non-English speaking citizens are at risk for trafficking, I think it's important to ensure that whatever resources we're providing, that it's in Spanish as well as English, so that they can get the help they need and recognize things. And so now we'll move on to what is forced labor. I think this is a really cool website thing. It talks about who's affected. Unstable immigration status is one of those. Language barriers, like I just said. Poverty, lack of basic needs. Recent or past trauma. Lack of social support, like friends, family, and community. And physical or developmental disabilities. It talks about what it looks like. I'll let you go ahead and check that out. And then it talks about what's going on in the United States, what's going on in industry. I'm gonna do a future video about goods produced with forced labor destined for U.S. markets. There's quite a bit of information that I'm excited to share with you for now. But if you don't want to wait and you want to learn it for yourself, I'm excited. Go ahead, do it. I think it'll be awesome. So finally, the last video I wanted to share with you is from FEMA. It is 5 ways we can work together to prevent human trafficking. And I think this is appropriate right now because, of the time we're in. I'm recording this on August 12th, 2023, and the fires in Maui, I'm just learning about those. They've devastated the populations in Hawaii, and I'm devastated that we lived there a long time ago. Hawaii is one of my my favorite places. One of my children was born there, and I don't want to start crying, but there's a lot that can happen in those situations where people are desperate. And so on January 10th, 2023, FEMA released this article. Disasters disrupt lives and can often make people feel like they have no one to turn to and nowhere to go. These situations and feelings can make people more vulnerable to exploitation, including human trafficking. It talks about what human trafficking is, and there's a really cool video. I'm not going to play it right now because I want you to check it out. But it really is, it says a lot, and there's things in there that you may not have suspected or thought about. One of the things it talks about in the video is people who are working in our country as domestic help. And that is something I hadn't really considered. So you might want to check that out and see. And it says, once again, I just want to highlight this section right here. Specific communities and individuals may be at a higher risk of trafficking, such as those with physical, emotional, or cognitive impairments, LGBTQ+, I guess that LGBTQI+, low income, or survivors of gender-based violence. That, if you watched my previous video, is why I talked about the need for more research. There's this increased risk because of the marginalization of these populations. And then there's a decrease or an imbalance of data and research that applies to those communities. So that makes it doubly hard and challenging. So things you can do. There are 5 things that they list here. It says emergency management community as well as community and faith-based leadership plays an important role in combating these dangers and helping people in times of disaster and distress. Preventing human trafficking is a team effort that can make a big difference during recovery efforts when we're talking about disaster. So 5 things. Take a stand and wear blue on January 11th. It's Human Trafficking Awareness Day. I did not know that. Wear blue to help spread awareness. You can more about that at that website. From the Department of Homeland Security. We visited that in a previous video. Understand the risk factors. The Blue Campaign has resources. Homeland Security has resources. Faith-based community toolkits. We covered that in our previous video. So check that out if you didn't get to see that. And then know what to do and who to contact to report it. That's where we could share resources with our community at local events and public gatherings, and then where you can report suspected trafficking. They have numbers right here that you can call. Educate yourself and your faith community on what human trafficking is and how to recognize the signs of exploitation of another person. And then they direct you back to that Blue Campaign website in order for you to find that information. We'll cover more of that in a previous video, in an upcoming video, I should say. And then understand how vulnerable communities are impacted. If you don't know where to start, there's a webinar that you can watch, Addressing Racial Equity in Communities Vulnerable to Human Trafficking. So a great opportunity for you to once again educate yourself, and then through that education recognize opportunities that you can take to take action and advocate for the people around you. And then down here in the bottom, emergency managers, first responders, disaster volunteers, and community leaders are in unique positions to play a vital role in human trafficking prevention after disasters. So I thought I would throw this out here. It seemed relevant for our day. And so your plan of action, or your action plan today, is to go out and check out these resources. If you haven't watched my previous videos, take a look at those and see if anything that I covered in those fits with your job, or places you frequent, or businesses that you are frequent or work at or own. If you're a business owner, and see if there's things that you can change about the way that you manage your employees, or the way that or maybe there's something you can bring up and advocate within your job for training and for resources to everyone working there to better address the issue of human trafficking. I'm excited to have had the opportunity to share this with you, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again later.